In the rapidly evolving landscape of global politics, the interactions between the United States and China stand out as particularly complex and consequential. A recent review of Confronting China, a volume edited by James H. Anderson and Daniel R. Green, sheds light on the multifaceted challenges posed by China's ascent as a formidable global power. Published by Bloomsbury in 2024, this book serves as a guide for policymakers grappling with the implications of China's rise on the international order, yet it also reveals significant gaps in understanding the broader context of this rivalry. The authors begin with the widely accepted notion that China's rise as a peer competitor has created an unprecedented threat to the post-World War II international order. This observation is underscored by China's robust economic growth, which has positioned it as the second largest economy globally, and its expanding diplomatic reach. However, the narrative predominantly emphasizes military dimensions, which may obscure the critical economic and political factors at play. For example, while the People's Liberation Army (PLA) has indeed undergone substantial modernization, evidenced by a military budget that grew by approximately 10% annually from 2000 to 2016, this focus on military might lack a nuanced exploration of China's motivations. The authors suggest that Beijing's military expansion is driven by aggressive ambitions aimed at achieving global dominance. However, this perspective may overlook other motivations, such as the need to maintain domestic support and address corruption and inefficiencies within the PLA. The book's assertion that China's military buildup is tied to an ambition for global dominance raises questions about the practicality of such goals. Notably, despite its military enhancements, China remains largely a regional power with limited ability to project force globally. Lacking the extensive network of military alliances that the United States enjoys. Moreover, the discussion around potential conflicts, particularly with Taiwan, highlights the inherent risks of escalating tensions. The authors suggest that some analysts believe a conflict over Taiwan could lead to a broader confrontation with the U.S. However, historical precedents indicate that military victories do not guarantee geopolitical supremacy, as illustrated by Japan's experience during World War II. The catastrophic potential of any military engagement between the U.S. and China could lead to nuclear escalation, rendering discussions of international primacy moot. As Taiwan navigates its defense strategy amidst these tensions, it announced plans to increase its defense spending to 3% of its GDP in response to U.S. expectations and growing threats from China. Taiwanese President William Lai Ching-te underscored the urgency of this move, particularly following U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed threats to impose tariffs on Taiwanese semiconductor products. This proposed budget increase is not only a demonstration of Taiwan's resolve but also a strategic effort to bolster its defense capabilities amid a challenging geopolitical climate. In the broader context, Trump's recent actions, such as announcing additional tariffs on imports from China, Canada, and Mexico, reflect a controversial strategy aimed at addressing trade imbalances while simultaneously asserting pressure on China regarding drug trafficking issues. However, the implications of such tariffs are profound, potentially straining U.S. companies and complicating international economic relations. As American businesses grapple with rising costs, the interconnected nature of global supply chains raises questions about the long-term viability of such aggressive trade policies. In conclusion, while volumes like Confronting China provide critical insights into the military aspects of U.S.-China relations, they often fall short of capturing the full spectrum of economic and diplomatic nuances essential for understanding this complex rivalry. The future of U.S.-China relations will likely hinge not only on military preparedness but also on the ability of both nations to navigate the intricate web of economic interdependence and diplomatic engagement. As the geopolitical landscape continues to shift, future research and discourse will be crucial in developing strategies that address the multifaceted nature of this rivalry within the constraints of domestic and international realities. In recent months, a slew of narratives from Western media have painted a dire picture of China's economic prospects, often invoking terms like economic crisis and collapse. However, a closer examination reveals a different story, one of resilience, innovation, and growth. As global economic uncertainties loom, China is showcasing a dynamic economy that continues to thrive. Driven by significant technological advancements and green development initiatives. According to data released by China's National Bureau of Statistics, the country's gross domestic product (GDP) reached a historic 134.91 trillion yuan, equivalent to approximately $18.81 trillion, marking a robust 5% increase year-on-year in 2024. In contrast, the U.S. economy grew by only 2.8% during the same period. John Ross, a senior fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies, critiqued the Western narrative, asserting that it fails to acknowledge the stark differences in growth rates, arguing that claims of a Chinese economic crisis are not only misleading but also propaganda-driven. Despite facing some domestic challenges which many analysts classify as temporary hurdles in a broader transition to high-quality development, the Chinese government has proactively addressed these issues. A comprehensive policy toolkit has been deployed, including pro-growth measures aimed at stabilizing the property market and local government debt. The fourth quarter of 2024 saw significant improvements across key economic indicators, reflecting the efficacy of these strategies. Notably, grain production hit a record 706 million tons, while the secondary and tertiary sectors also reported strong performance. A crucial aspect of China's economic future lies in its commitment to technological innovation. The World Intellectual Property Organization's recent Global Innovation Index ranks China 11th overall, with the country leading in the number of science and technology clusters, far surpassing the United States. In 2024, China's research and development spending reached 3.61 trillion yuan, a notable 8.3% increase from the previous year, solidifying its position as the second-largest R&D spender globally. Moreover, China's commitment to green development is evident in its significant strides toward clean energy. In 2024, electricity generation from renewable sources surged by 16.4%. Highlighting the nation's focus on sustainability and efforts to mitigate climate change. Clifford Cobb, director of the U.S. Institute for the Postmodern Development of China, emphasized that China is taking substantial steps to enhance industrial production efficiency and reduce carbon emissions. As China continues to open its markets to foreign investment, the nation has made significant reforms, including the removal of restrictions on foreign investment in the manufacturing sector. This high-standard opening up policy has attracted global giants like Tesla and BMW, who recognize China's vast consumer market and industrial ecosystem as fertile ground for innovation and growth. A recent survey by the American Chamber of Commerce in South China indicated that 58% of foreign companies regard China as a top investment priority, with 76% planning to reinvest in the country in 2025. Amidst rising protectionism and economic tensions, the sentiment among foreign investors remains optimistic. Harley Seiton, chairman of AmCham South China, noted that the surge in reinvestment signifies confidence in China's economic future and an eagerness for increased U.S.-China cooperation. The narratives of peak China and China collapse, frequently propagated by Western media, fail to account for the reality on the ground. As Dennis Dupont, global managing director at Roland Berger, points out, China's economic growth in 2024 is a testament to its resilience in the face of global challenges. Beyond its role as a manufacturing powerhouse, China is now a global innovation leader, driving trends in digitization, sustainability, and high-tech industries, he stated. Looking ahead, China's economic trajectory appears promising. The recent uptick in February's Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index (PMI), which rose to 50.2, indicates a return to expansion following the seasonal slowdown typically associated with the Lunar New Year. This positive data, coupled with the government's proactive measures to stimulate growth, suggests that China is not only navigating its current challenges but is also poised for sustained high-quality growth in the years to come. As global markets remain unpredictable, China's role as a cornerstone of economic stability will likely continue to evolve, positioning the nation as a vital player in the interconnected global economy. The ongoing developments in China's economic landscape, particularly in technological innovation and green initiatives, will be crucial indicators of its future growth and global influence. In the ever-evolving landscape of international relations, few nations command as much attention as China. As the world's second-largest economy, its ascent presents both opportunities and challenges that reverberate across diplomatic, military, and economic spheres. The recent publication of Confronting China, edited by James H. Anderson and Daniel R. Green, seeks to navigate these complexities, providing a pragmatic overview of the multifaceted competition between the United States and China. However, while the book offers valuable insights from a cadre of experienced authors, it also reveals significant weaknesses in its analysis, particularly concerning military dynamics. The book opens with a straightforward assertion that China's rise as a peer competitor has created an unprecedented threat to the post-Second World War international order. This claim is uncontroversial. Indeed, China's rapid growth and increasing global influence are undeniable. Yet the text leans heavily into the military aspect of this rivalry, often overshadowing the equally critical diplomatic and economic dimensions. Chapters addressing China's efforts to undermine U.S. alliances and expand influence in regions such as Africa and the Indo-Pacific provide essential context, yet they struggle to balance the narrative that primarily fixates on military capabilities. China's military modernization, highlighted by a substantial budget increase over the past 2 decades, raises pressing questions about its intentions. The authors contend that the rapid expansion of the People's Liberation Army (PLA) signals aggressive ambitions. However, this perspective is somewhat reductive. The motivations behind China's military investments are multifaceted, encompassing a range of economic and political factors such as fostering national pride and contributing to economic growth. Furthermore, the authors overlook the persistent issues of corruption and readiness within the PLA, which complicate the narrative of an invincible military juggernaut. Despite the assertion of China's military prowess, the book fails to convincingly link this buildup to a coherent strategy for global dominance. While it is true that China now fields advanced military technology, the reality remains that its military capabilities are primarily regionally focused, lacking the extensive global reach that characterizes U.S. forces. The disparity in military alliances and bases further emphasizes this point. The United States boasts numerous allies and a vast network of bases worldwide, while China's military presence abroad remains limited. The potential for conflict between the two nations is frequently discussed, with some authors invoking the specter of a power transition war, historically marked by conflict when a rising power threatens to surpass an established one. However, the current economic trajectory suggests that such a scenario is increasingly unlikely. As of 2024, China's economy has stagnated, shrinking to 2/3 the size of the U.S. economy, raising doubts about its ability to sustain military expansion or engage in overt aggression without severe repercussions. Amidst this backdrop, some scholars speculate that a desperate China might resort to military action, particularly concerning Taiwan. Yet the reality is that a military victory over Taiwan would not automatically lead to U.S. capitulation, nor would it guarantee China's hegemony. The catastrophic potential of a full-scale conflict, especially one involving nuclear powers, renders such discussions somewhat abstract, overshadowed by the immediate need for pragmatic and peaceful resolutions. While Confronting China does raise critical questions about U.S. response strategies, it falters in providing actionable insights. Calls for a massive military buildup, including proposals for floating $300 billion in bonds for defense production, seem ambitious yet impractical in light of the current political climate. Concerns about national debt and public support for military spending complicate the feasibility of such proposals. The ongoing polarization and skepticism towards government involvement in military operations further hinder the prospect of a united front against China's advances. In conclusion, while Confronting China offers a comprehensive overview of the challenges posed by China's rise, it ultimately falls short in its military-centric analysis and proposed responses. As the geopolitical landscape continues to shift, future discussions must transcend military competition, focusing instead on a multi-domain strategy that acknowledges the intertwined nature of economic, political, and military factors. The need for innovative solutions that align with the realities of domestic and international politics has never been more pressing, and as the world watches China's next moves, the long-term implications of this rivalry remain uncertain.